Hi guys, I hope that you're all doing really well. So first of all, I don't know if some of you guys probably haven't seen it actually, but I dyed my hair a little bit. Actually what it is a toner because I really wanted to grow out my natural hair. But at some point, as you guys know, like I had lighter hair. And at some point the light was like here and then my natural color was at the top, and I just really wanted to even it out somehow. So I did get like a toner in and I feel so much more like myself, and I just really, I'm really happy with it. So I hope that you guys like it too. Anyway, that's not the point of this video. Today I wanted to talk about some fragrances. Some of them are recent to my, actually all of them are recent to my collection that completely blew me away. As you guys probably know, with being like a content creator for fragrance, I get the chance to sample, smell, and receive a lot of new fragrances. I don't always get sent them, but for instance, maybe I meet with somebody and they show me their new release, or I get a sample set from a brand that has a new release inside. So I often get the chance to smell a lot of them. And these fragrances here that I'm highlighting today truly, truly blew my mind, and I cannot wait to put you guys onto them. Some of them I bought, some of them I was sent. It's kind of a mix of everything. I'll make sure to let you guys know which ones I bought so that you know. But yeah, let's get into the video. So I recently bought Imagination from Louis Vuitton. Now, this fragrance is mostly spoken on the internet by men, which I totally understand why. This fragrance was kind of hyped by a lot of guys in the community since maybe about 2 years or so. But ladies, I want to tell you that this fragrance is 100% unisex and it is phenomenal. In terms of a fresh fragrance, it is honestly one of my absolute favorites. You guys know the ones that I love. I love Vibrato from Suspiro. I love Oolong Cha by Nichane. But Imagination is different because it is so smooth. It feels so comforting to wear, very peaceful, very relaxing, very calming, and it's just beautiful, you guys. Like I am head over heels in love with this scent. What you have is neroli. I think you have some black tea and broxen, some other citruses, some florals, but in general, it just feels very smooth. Like that is the key word when it comes to Imagination. It's smooth. It's not a juicy, vibrant, bitter citrus scent. It's this very smooth, fresh fragrance that feels so calming and very sensual on the skin. It is absolutely stunning. I have actually been layering it a lot with 1957 from Chanel Exclusive, and that combination together is to die for. I found myself wanting to wear it most days. You can see the dent that I've already made in my bottle. I just absolutely love it. For men, for women, for everyone. The only thing is that the longevity and projection is not incredible, which is to be expected when we're talking about fresh citrus fragrances, but it's not bad. I definitely have smelled and worn citrus fragrances that last a lot less than Imagination. For me, I would say it lasts around the 6 to 7-ish hour mark with a nice projection in the first couple of hours, and then it really sits closer to the skin. But I am completely head over heels in love with this scent, and I recommend that all of you ladies, all of you guys go and check it out. If you were looking for a really just smooth, really just beautiful fresh fragrance, this is the one to go for. Next up, we're going to talk about one of my absolute favorite discoveries in 2024. I am speaking from January until now, October, as I'm filming this video. This is by far my one of my top 3 favorite discoveries. This fragrance is from Une Nuit Nomade, and the fragrance is called Estrella de la Mañana. This is a part of their new X-ray collection. They just recently released 3 new X-rays. They are at a higher price tag than the rest of the collection because obviously the fragrances have a higher oil percentage inside. I smelled it for the first time a couple of weeks ago and it blew me away when I smelled it. And I am so happy to have a bottle of this. I wore through the entire sample that I had of this fragrance while I was in Cannes for the tax-free exhibition, and the brand kindly sent me a bottle. But you guys, this to me is a masterpiece. It is an absolute masterpiece fragrance for me. The word masterpiece is very, very subjective to your taste, what you consider to be a beautiful fragrance, a masterpiece fragrance. It's just a word at the end of the day. Nobody's, making it an official term. But this to me really is a masterpiece in the way that it's been created, crafted, blended, just everything. The concept of this fragrance is just phenomenal. So what you're going to get with this scent is a really dark, smoky, dry cacao fragrance. Now, this does have some gourmand elements to it with the cacao and the vanilla and the benzoin in here, but please don't think that this is a really safe fragrance that you can go out and blind buy if you love cacao and vanilla and benzoin. It's not at all. This fragrance is really complex, very deep, very dark, quite smoky. There is a beautiful birch note in here, which if you guys don't know how birch smells, it's this very smoky raw material that almost has a leathery facet to it, almost like smoked wood. So there is definitely a very prominent smoky facet to the scent. So it's definitely not something I would say is a blind buy fragrance, is safe, is anything. Please, if you're interested to try the fragrance, sample it first, because I do not think that this fragrance will be for everyone. But right now, it is honestly in my top 3 fragrances of all time right now. It is so spectacular, and I just love it so much. Another thing that I love a lot about it is the fact that when I wear this scent, I can feel it all around me. I smell it on myself. I feel like I have this beautiful cloud around me when I'm wearing it, and it is just phenomenal. I also wanted to tell you guys, when I was wearing the sample in Cannes, I got complimented on the scent twice. When I was going out at night with this fragrance on, I got complimented twice. So I feel like people really like the scent on me personally, and it's just so beautiful. A very dark, very rich, very intense, smoky cacao fragrance with a deep vanillic touch. It is just, it's spectacular, you guys. But like I said, this is not for everyone. So even if you don't like it, don't force yourself to like it. It's a very complex fragrance, but for me, like I said, an absolute masterpiece. And I am really excited to have this in my collection. I've already worn it 3 times since I got the bottle like a week and a half ago. I am just completely in love. Longevity and projection is beast mode. This one is going to last on your skin around 8 to 9 hours with a huge projection around you. Another fragrance that I have been absolutely loving recently, and this fragrance is more easy to like, I would say. This is the new release from Widian, and it is called Yasat. Recently, I have been having a love affair with Widian. I just absolutely adore the fragrances. The DNA of the brand is something that I really resonate with. I feel like all of the scents have a slightly Middle Eastern touch without going too dark. There is some fragrances from the collection that smell much more Middle Eastern with a lot of oud, a lot of amber, a lot of resins, a lot of smoky notes. There is some fragrances from the brand that are very much like Middle Eastern, and they are beautiful. But Yasat, you guys, please, you are going to love this fragrance. Oh, I feel like a lot of you guys will fall head over heels in love with Yasat, because this fragrance is along the lines of something like Gris Chanel from BDK, Red from Soradora. It has that really appealing DNA. To be honest, out of all of those fragrances, this has become my absolute favorite. Obviously for me, Gris Chanel is like my baby, but I'm excited to try new fragrances with that kind of DNA. And Yasat is amazing, you guys. You have sandalwood, caramel, cardamom. As it starts to dry down, you're gonna get this gorgeous, really creamy, really woody sandalwood with this beautiful sweetness that is not overly sticky sweet by any means. Like this beautiful, slightly caramelly vanilla, which adds this beautiful sweetness without being too much. And you still feel that kind of soft spice from the cardamom. It is just gorgeous, you guys. If, like I said, you like that type of DNA, you will fall in love with Yasat. It is absolutely gorgeous. Longevity and projection is also fantastic. I wore this fragrance out to dinner with Pierre's parents, I think it was a week or 2 ago, and it lasted on my skin all night with a beautiful projection around me, and it just smells incredible. So definitely recommend this one, Yasat from Widian. The next fragrance also blew my mind, and I was surprised that it doesn't get more love, because I feel like so many people would go crazy over this scent. This fragrance is called 2022 from Pantheon Aroma. Wow, you guys, like, wow, wow, wow. I believe that this fragrance was exclusive to their boutique in Rome, I think, for quite some time, since 2022, but I think now it's available on their online website, which is super cool because once again, this is a fragrance that I would love you guys to try and to get a sample of if the DNA sounds like your type of scent. So we're sticking with the sandalwood, the creamy woody fragrances, which personally, I really gravitate towards those type of scents in the fall and winter. I love something woody, I love something creamy. That sounded really strange, but I do really love a creamy woody scent that feels very cocooning and comforting. I am definitely steering further away from gourmands fragrances. Not that I don't like them, I absolutely love gourmands, but I feel like now my rotation seems to be a lot of woody fragrances, floral fragrances, and fresh fragrances rather than gourmand fragrances. And especially for the fall and winter, I like something quite woody. So 2022 from Pantheon blew my socks off. This is the most indulgent, creamy, woody fragrance with a lot of sandalwood. You have some cacao, you have vanilla. I would say you mostly get that beautiful, delicious, indulgent and creamy sandalwood scent in here, mixed with a soft sweetness that is not overwhelming, but it is just so chic and elegant and just absolutely amazing and really, really cocooning. That is probably the word that I would say. Very chic, very cocooning. It almost has a lactonic facet from the sandalwood because, like I said, the sandalwood in here is really, really creamy. I don't even know how they emphasize that creamy note. I'm going to check the notes on sniff actually because I want to see if there is some sort of lactonic vibe here. So there isn't actually any sort of lactonic note. Sandalwood, vanilla. There is also a cherry note in here, which I really don't smell at all. But you definitely get the vanilla and the sandalwood in here a lot. And it is so, so beautiful, you guys. There is also a frangipani note, which once again, maybe you feel it slightly in here, but you're mostly going to get the gorgeous creamy woodiness from this scent with a soft sweetness. Also, I wanted to say, Kia is obsessed with this fragrance. Like, we have been fighting over who is going to wear it more because for me, this is my type of scent. A creamy woody fragrance is one of my favorites, but it's actually also one of Pierre's favorites, especially for the fall and winter months. So we're kind of fighting over who is going to claim this one, but it's okay sometimes for us to share the fragrances. So I am obsessed with it. Longevity projection is amazing. On my skin, I get around 8 hours with a beautiful projection within your arm's length. So definitely check it out. I would say my two favorite fragrances from Pantheon Roma, it's A and 2022. For me, those are the top two fragrances from the brand, from my personal taste, and I absolutely love them. So check this one out for the fall and winter. You guys are going to fall in love. I have wanted this fragrance for such a long time. I am so happy to have this scent. It smells heavenly to me, like heaven. Like really, you guys, it smells like heaven to me. I don't know what it is about this scent, but I just am completely in awe of this fragrance. This is Soleil Neige by Tom Ford. Now, you guys know I've had a lot of Tom Fords on my wish list, and I recently purchased them because I found a guy in Dubai, and he gets me really, really, really amazing prices for fragrances. If you're in Dubai and you want to know his name and stuff, I can easily send it to you. But he is my guy. He is absolutely amazing. He always sends me like new fragrances that he gets into his store, and he will tell me the price and I will exchange if I want it or not. And I recently got a bunch of Tom Fords from him. I got Jasmin Rouge, Soleil Blanc, Soleil Neige, Noir Extrême, Black Orchid, Eau de Parfum, Velvet Orchid, a bunch of them for an amazing price, you guys. So I was really, really happy. But Soleil Neige, it blew my socks off. I have wanted this fragrance for a really, really long time. Same for Soleil Blanc, obviously, and I'm so happy to have it. But Soleil Blanc to me is more seasonal. This is a sort of fragrance for me that I want to wear in the summer exclusively, whereas Soleil Neige is more of a year-round fragrance. And my gosh, It is just gorgeous. Like, I cannot even tell you guys why I love this one so much, but it just smells phenomenal to me. It has something very cold and crisp about it. Like, I know the name Soleil Neige, which translates to sun, snow, sun, I think. Like, neige is snow in French. So it is kind of giving you this placebo effect of being cold, but I swear to you guys, there is something cold about the fragrance, something that feels icy and cold and just crisp in a way. You have bergamot, carrot seeds, you have some floral notes in here, predominantly white flowers mixed with benzoin, but it doesn't really smell like a creamy, really indolic white floral, not at all. This kind of is a fresh, crisp, musky, kind of floral, but it's so interesting to me, guys. But I am completely head over heels in love with this fragrance, more so when I layer it with Orpheon from Diptyque, which is behind me somewhere. When I layer this fragrance with Orpheon, the combination is just chef's kiss, gorgeous, phenomenal, everything. But I love the fragrance by itself. I absolutely love it. Like, the scent to me is just pure perfection. I do want to let you guys know though, I am disappointed with the longevity of this one. On my skin, I probably get around 6 hours or so, which for me is super disheartening because the DNA to me is so perfect, especially as like a signature fragrance. It is so beautiful, but the longevity really lets down the fragrance. But when I layer it with Orpheon, it does last slightly longer. So yeah, Soleil Neige, so happy to have it, you guys. Like, it is literally, I'm gonna spray it on now. It's so beautiful, but I wish it lasted longer. This next fragrance is probably one of the most unique fragrances that I have tried, which is saying something because obviously I have tried a lot of fragrances, and this really blew me away by how unique it is, how beautifully done it is, and the fact that the perfumer worked on a direction that, I don't know, is not very easy to like, but it just turned out so beautiful, you guys. This fragrance is called Diana from Masque Milano. Now, once again, this is the type of fragrance that I would not really recommend to everyone, but really, this blew my mind when I smelled it in can. I was absolutely blown away by the scent. Now, what you're gonna get with Diana is a beautiful Angelica fragrance. Now, Angelica is this note that smells quite bitter, quite green, almost like the roots of a plant. Like, it really has this almost green, bitter, earthy type of scent, which you definitely feel in the fragrance. But there is also this gorgeous lychee note in here, which you definitely feel, this almost kind of like addictive, fruity aspect to the scent. And as it starts to settle, you also have some neroli in here, geranium and lavender, I think, as well. So it has a slightly aromatic feel. I would say that the Angelica note stays throughout most of the fragrance, but as it's on your skin, it becomes a little bit sweeter and more addictive. It's like this really interesting, aromatic, slightly sweet, fruity, addictive scent that just blew my mind, you guys, in terms of uniqueness, creativity, but it's not too creative to the point where it's unwearable. You know, some fragrances, they really go into a direction where it feels more like a piece of art that you just kind of want to appreciate from afar rather than wear it on your skin. That is not the case with Diana. I think some of you guys that appreciate that kind of bitter, green, Angelica note, please try this fragrance because it is spectacular. It really made me feel something when I smelled it because I had never smelled anything quite like this before, and I just love it. Longevity and projection is good. It lasts on my skin around 7 hours with a projection within your arm's length. So definitely try this one if that sounds like your cup of tea and you wanted something more unique, a little bit more artistic, a little bit of that green bitterness. You're going to love this fragrance. I also got another fragrance from Masque Milano. It is Viana, I think it's called, which is the most gorgeous summer tropical floral. So high quality, so beautiful. But it's more, for me, those type of scents are for the summer. Like, I don't want to wear a tropical floral when it starts to cool down. Like, I save those fragrances for the summer. Next up, we have a fragrance from the Merchant of Venice. This fragrance is called La Fenice Parfum. Now, this fragrance is also a really slept on fragrance from the brand. I feel like not many people talk about the Merchant of Venice, but it's a really, really beautiful brand. So I recommend getting a sample set or trying to find somewhere that sells the brand because they do have a lot of interesting fragrances to me. Now, La Fenice Parfum is a gorgeous, really feminine vanilla fragrance. When I say feminine, I don't mean that men cannot wear it. Wear whatever you want, of course. But when I smell this fragrance, I think of a beautiful girl, like beautiful woman, I should say, wearing a vanilla fragrance. She wants something still really elegant and really sophisticated, but she still wants to smell like a vanilla. Like she cannot let go of her vanilla days. She still wants to smell like vanilla in her 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. Like that's this fragrance to me. It's for the woman who just adores vanilla. And La Fenice Parfum is this beautiful feminine vanilla, like I said. What you have is heliotrope and almond blossom, and obviously vanilla, an overdose of vanilla in here, and it is just gorgeous. The heliotrope brings almost like this kind of creamy, warm, slightly powdery effect. The almond blossom obviously brings something a little bit almondy and floral about it, but it's so smooth, it's very sensual, it's very girly, and it's just gorgeous. To me, this is not a fragrance that I would consider to be very unique, so I want to tell you guys that. Don't buy this and expect it to be something that you've never smelled in your life, because when I smelled it for the first time, I was like, it reminds me of something, but I'm obsessed with it. Like I smelled it and I was like, it reminds me of something, but I loved it when I wore it. So it's just a gorgeous fragrance. If you're looking for a vanilla, but you still want it to have like a really feminine and girly character to it, please try out La Fenice Parfum. It is so, so beautiful. Longevity and projection is good. It's nothing groundbreaking to me. Probably around 7 hours or so with a soft projection, but I absolutely love this. When I wore it around Pierre, he told me that I smelled really good when I was wearing it. Another fragrance that blew my socks off. Guys, like I really have to reiterate the fact that these are really the ones that blew me away. I don't talk about every fragrance like that I get sent or that I buy or anything, but these fragrances, like they really blew me away. And this is one of them. I am just in love with this scent. This is Flower Lust by d'Orsay. Now, d'Orsay is a very historical French brand. If you guys don't know, like it's one of the pioneering fragrance brands in France, and it's very, very well respected still to this day. They recently did like a revamp, so the bottle design, the brand in general, it changed quite a lot over the years. But Flower Lust is a part of their 3 new X-rays. It kind of seems like all the brands are releasing X-rays right now, but I understand it's a trend and it's kind of what the market wants. So that's why brands are doing it. But d'Orsay, they released 3 new X-rays. There was an incense, a tonka, and Flower Lust. I really enjoyed the tonka bean as well. I have it up there actually. It is amazing from Jordi Fernandez. But if I had to choose one, I think I would pick Flower Lust. This fragrance was created by Dominique Rapil, who for me, he makes some of the best floral fragrances in the industry to my like personal taste. I think his florals are just gorgeous, and Flower Lust is no exception. This is, wow, like a show-stopping floral fragrance for me. It's not only floral, there is a lot more going on. You have pink pepper and black pepper in the opening. You have orange blossom, ylang ylang, a lot of tonka and benzoin, so it feels quite sweet, almost a little bit powdery in a way. You have the florals, but it's just blended so beautifully that you don't really, it feels very seamless. When you smell this fragrance, it feels seamless. It also has some patchouli in there, which you feel in the base, which brings a little bit more depth and kind of character to the scent. But it's so beautiful. It's quite sharp in a way, and I don't mean sharp in a bad way. I just mean in the character of the fragrance. It's not a creamy fragrance. It's not this really soft, smooth, delicate floral. This is a punchy, almost sharp floral fragrance, and it is gorgeous. Ylang ylang, orange blossom, pink pepper, the benzoin, the tonka, it's so, so gorgeous. And I wore this fragrance while I was in Cannes, and I got complimented twice actually. And the compliment that the person said to me was that you smell beautiful. They said, they gave me a left kiss, right kiss, and then they were like, oh, you smell beautiful, darling. And I was like, thank you. The longevity and projection is good on the fragrance. I get around 7-ish hours or so, I would say. It does last, but I feel like it sits closer to the skin. And I wish it lasted a little bit longer because I love the fragrance so much, but I don't mind going in and topping it up. And D'Orsay is a brand now that I am really, really excited to get more into my collection. There was a lot that I loved from the brand. I also have been obsessed with, I think it's Sur tes lèvres, which means, I forgot what it means, on your lips, I think. And I am obsessed with that fragrance. Also by Dominique Ropion. Wow, like that fragrance is spectacular as well, like absolutely spectacular, but it's more of a delicate kind of floral fragrance. Flower Loss is more of that punchy, look at me type of floral, and it is absolutely stunning. Next up, I'm switching direction completely, and we have a fragrance from Ajmal. Now, I am very selective with the Middle Eastern fragrances and brands that I speak about, because I feel like there is a little bit of an oversaturation of them on the internet right now. So I really try to choose the ones that really made an impact for me personally. And I think it's great that they're having a moment online. I do think it's amazing. And I love watching content about it and stuff. But myself, I've kind of tried to not talk about them as much because I feel like there is just a lot of content about it at the moment. And I only really wanted to highlight the ones that have made a very big difference for me. And this is a new release from Ajmal that really I found to be beautifully done. This fragrance is called Eau de Oud. And the fragrance, as you can imagine, is just wow, like wow. This is a really clean, fresh, smooth fragrance with 2% of real oud oil inside. So you're gonna get, they're not similar, but you're gonna get a DNA like imagination. So this really clean, really smooth, fresh scent with some citrus, some musk, like this really beautiful smooth scent with a touch of real oud oil inside. Now, a lot of brands use oud accords in fragrance, but Ajmal, because they are an oud manufacturer and they're known for producing and actually selling their oud oil, they use real oud. And you feel it in here. You feel it ever so subtly in the base, especially when you put it onto your skin and your skin starts to warm up. You feel that little hint of the oud, which is slightly animalic, just slightly animalic, and you definitely feel the depth of the oud. Do not blind buy it. Do not go out and tell me it smells like skanky and this and that, but test it. Test it if it sounds like your cup of tea, because the contrast of this beautiful, smooth, fresh, quite classic scent mixed with the oud is really, really beautiful and really interesting, and something that personally I have not experienced before. So I am in love with this scent. I do think that this will appeal more to men, so please keep that in mind. But for me, I love oud, I love fresh fragrances, I love imagination, I love everything. So for me, I would definitely wear this scent, and I have worn it. It is gorgeous. Longevity and projection, I would say, is around the 6-7 hour mark. So not super long lasting, but also it's not a weak fragrance by any means. And it is just really, really fantastic. Another fragrance that is just wow to me, and I really see this fragrance becoming quite popular online, depending on your taste, this fragrance just is wow. This is Coco Kimia from Atelier des Ors. And honestly, you guys, this has shot up right to the top of my favorite fragrances from Atelier des Ors. They did an amazing job with this scent, and I am, once again, the title of this video, this blew my mind. Coco Kimia is this beautiful balance between cardamom, cacao, and for me, I get almost like a caramel coffee vibe in here. Not in a way where it smells sickly sweet and edible. This fragrance is also something I think is like a work of art. I don't know how they did it, but it is so beautifully done, you guys. You really feel the cardamom in the opening, and it does stay throughout quite a bit of the wear, but then as it starts to settle down, you're left with this really gorgeous cacao fragrance with a little bit of a coffee aspect. I feel like the brand, they didn't release obviously the full kind of notes of the fragrance. I think what's listed is just cacao and cardamom, but for me, I definitely get a slight coffee vibe, like almost this this kind of caramelized coffee in here, and it is just phenomenal. Like, absolutely a work of art, something that I really think a lot of you guys should go out and smell. If you're a fan of Atelier des Ors, if you're a fan of a little bit more of a complex, slight gourmand leaning fragrance, you have to try this one. It is absolutely beautiful. Just please trust me, this one is gorgeous. It lasts on the skin a really long time. Pierre has been wearing this one actually more than me. I've worn it about twice and he's worn it more than me. And whenever he wears it and walks in front of me, I can smell it everywhere. Longevity and projection is incredible on this scent. It's going to last on your skin around 8+ hours with a huge projection. Like I said, whenever Pierre has worn it and he's walked in front of me, I can smell the trail of him far behind him. It's absolutely gorgeous. So definitely check this one out, especially for the fall and winter. It will blow your mind. So that is it, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed hearing about my current favorites, I guess you could say, slash fragrances that recently blew me away. These are all fragrances that I would really encourage you guys to go and check out because they are just beautiful, beautiful fragrances. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.